Take me out to see that game with all the balls. Or to the wrestling ring, best out of three falls. Donny and Randy talking wrestling and sports. We're talking the ball pit. It's the best, of course, 'cause it's the ball pit, the ball pit. Donny and Randy, they freaking called it, 'cause it's the ball pit, the ball pit. There's no better podcast. They're all shit. Rob watches the Lions every Sunday night. Who even knows which team Paul supposedly likes? Tex likes the Cowboys, it's his only shortfall. Jason McLean, just a fan of sports ball. 'Cause it's the ball pit, the ball pit. Donny and Randy, they freaking called it. 'Cause it's the ball pit, the ball pit. There's no better podcast. They're all shit. With Randy Gilbert as our YouTube sports guy. Donny Cho knows shit about sports, but he'll try. Donny only knows wrestling and MMA. Together these two for the US of A.
Well,
indeed.
Yes. What's going on?
Not much, man. Just like I was telling you backstage, just finished, came back from the movie theater, watched Predator Badlands, and now I'm here.
Yeah. So imagine people want to know what it's kind of like. So give us your early review.
It was okay. I thought it wasn't that bad. There's a lot of criticism online about it, saying that it's too woke and whatever. But I didn't see any of that. I just thought it was just a fun sci-fi adventure movie.
Yeah.
So if you just want to go in there for a fun sci-fi adventure movie,
good to go.
That was okay. Yeah. I thought it was okay.
You know, you bring up sci-fi adventure movie, and my mind gets stuck on one thing every time. I never can remember the name of the movie, but it was about an alien and an alien bounty hunter that would come, but the alien is like a drug runner type alien, and they would inject his victims with cocaine or heroin or whatever, and then harvest the brainstem fluid from them, and that was a drug to the other outlying alien people or whatever. I can't, and I'll have to look it up again, but it always comes to my mind every time I think about aliens coming in and everything. You know, that movie has always stuck with me because I can remember it. The guy would sit there and do his little fist like that, and these two long things would come out, and one would inject the person at the base of the brain.
Are you talking about I Come in Peace?
I think that's it. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. I Come in Peace.
Yeah. It was a great movie, I thought. I really thought it was a great movie. It doesn't get a whole lot of respect out there, but for what was going on with it, I was like, man, this actually tells a great story, though. And it was Rutger Hauer in it? Is that who was in it?
I think so. And then they had, I think I saw something about that recently, actually.
Yeah, because it was an interesting one. I'll say it was an interesting one. So, so I Come in Peace. I'm going to look that up real quick just so I can say I'm saying the right stuff here. Who was in it? No, it was Dolph Lundgren. Sorry, Dolph Lundgren was in it. Yeah, the bad alien was Matthias Hughes, blonde guy. I don't know who the good alien was supposed to be. He wasn't there long enough. He ended up getting killed off real quick, though. But probably the reason I liked it because Dolph Lundgren at that one time was actually a decent action actor. You know,
I like Dolph Lundgren.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was the perfect addition for the Expendables. I mean, as bad as he was, like that down and out kind of guy. You're like, he kind of fits that role perfectly.
Hmm.
But anywho,
Oh, I'm in here as the Ball Pit Sports and Wrestling.
you're
So
on
when you
both.
type you show up as true. Oh wait, no, it's both. Never mind.
Yeah, and because
Yeah,
I do
shit.
when I type, I'm over here on my other screen.
Hmm.
So anywho, so there was some fun stuff happening this week. I wouldn't even go into a whole lot of the football stuff because there wasn't no real upsets on the college side this week. There
Mm-hmm.
was close to being one. Indiana almost got beat, but they ended up coming out at the end. Um, but wasn't a whole lot really going on. I didn't think. Of course, Texas wasn't playing, so I wasn't worried about it. But I paid attention. A&M winning. LSU continues their downfall after that Brian Kelly bullshit. And yes, for everybody that doesn't understand and doesn't know, I hate Brian Kelly. I will always hate Brian Kelly. I think he treats his kids like shit when he's a coach. Okay. And coaches should not be allowed to leave their team, especially if they qualify for a bowl. They should not be allowed to leave their team before that bowl game is completed. Period. End of story. He's done it on 3 different occasions that I know of.
Which team is he for?
He was the head coach of the LSU Tigers.
Oh,
Now
so what was?
he hadn't got a job. He was at Cincinnati first. Then he went to Notre Dame. He left. He got Cincinnati built up, and right before their bowl game that they qualified for one year, he got hired on as the Notre Dame head coach, and then proceeded to leave them in the lurch 3 weeks before their bowl game. Left them in the lurch to go start recruiting for Notre Dame. Took him 10 years at Notre Dame, I guess it was, and he built a decent little program. Never could quite win the big one. They were played in the national title game, I think, at least twice, but he never won a national title. Then he got fired from there and got hired on at LSU after the LSU fired Les or Ogeron or whoever the last one was for him, but got hired on there. So
He
it's
says, I've been wanting to learn more about football. It makes for a good barbershop talk. And then Paranormal Paul comes in and says, it sure does, Bigfoot.
dang right.
That's Hey, why
Now
is
I
it
got to
going
know.
to get Paul up in here?
I don't know why is Paul out there and not coming in here. That doesn't make any
Hey,
sense to me, Paul.
get
Paul,
your
why
ass
you?
in here, Paul.
You
Get
know,
to the
it's not like
chopper.
you don't have access. Don't try that crap.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I hate the guy. And now, what really got me is because number one, he had no respect for the kids that played under him half the time, and then he had a safety that was a captain of the team, and that
Mm.
that kid he had some sort of disease. He had some sort of disease where he essentially lost all motor function. Okay, he had to relearn to walk again. He had to relearn to talk again. His dad was there with him the whole way, and Ryan Clark did a write up on it on a while back. Uh, and this this dude, the entire team goes to see him. Right, goes to make sure they check on him and everything. The entire team. He's the captain of the team. Of course, the team's going to come, check him out and stuff. The guy called one time. The coach called him one time and never went to see him, never was there at all after that to check up on his captain of his team.
Damn, that's cold as ice.
That made me, you know what? That's one of those that I'm like, people like that, there's a special place in hell for them, just waiting. And he's one of them. As much as I don't like Nick Saban, who was the coach for Alabama, you can bet your ass that anytime he had a kid that was really hurt or really sick in the hospital, Saban was checking on them. He might not have been there every day or anything like that, but you can bet he was checking on. So to not that just hmm. Somebody said that this week that he might be the next in line for the Penn State job, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Why would he get another Division 1A school or division football FBS series, whatever you want to call it? Why would he ever get one? He should never have another one ever again, as far as I'm concerned. But that's just me. So
He's a D bag.
yeah, he's a straight out douchebag. So,
Yeah,
but either way, like I said, there wasn't a whole heck of a lot that really happened.
yeah.
Poor old Rob, I feel for you. I understand. Poor Mizzou.
What happened with
Just
Rob? Why is he sad?
what?
Why is
Rob
Rob sad?
is Rob. I don't know why Rob be sad. His boys beat the crap out of the
No,
Redskins.
because you
I
said
mean
you said poor
Commanders.
Rob.
I meant poor Paul.
Oh, poor Paul. Why is
Yeah,
Paul
poor
sad?
Paul. Paul would be sad because Mizzou had a rough outing yesterday. It wasn't
Oh,
pretty. It was not pretty. So even though I will admit, there was some signs of flashes of some things to come from Mizzou, especially if they keep building up. But neither here nor there. I don't care about the Cowboys. They didn't play this week. I don't care about the football. And you notice in the title, I said there ain't gonna be no basketball until March Madness. Okay, I won't even talk about basketball. I don't care about basketball until March Madness. And that,
so no basketball talk until March.
yeah, just mainly because I don't like basketball most of the time because it's turned into a. It's not the basketball of the '80s.
It's
So,
turned into a bit of a shit show.
well, it's a pussy show, is what it
Oh,
is. Excuse my language, ladies.
this is what Paul says. He says, "Damn freshman QB couldn't complete a pass."
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But he did have some legs on him. I'll give him that. And that little running back you got some legs on him too.
Hmm.
So, they're looking up. I will say they're looking up. Uh, Blazed. I'm assuming she's talking about the Portland Trailblazers. There, Bigfoot fades. Or should I be like Rob, like uh Brandy was telling me, Rob, Bigfoot fed is
I think it's Fades.
it is, but he says fed is
Fadez. Bigfoot
Fadez.
Fadez.
Bigfoot fedez. Yeah, I don't know about the Trailblazers. I quit paying attention. Yeah, I would always kind of keep up with pro basketball, just kind of just keep an eye on it. But since Kobe retired and before his death, unfortunate death or whatever, I don't mind LeBron, but I could take or leave. There's just no teams that have reached out and made me want to care about them at all. The Mavericks were kind of starting. I liked Luca for a while, but then he got traded, and I was so pissed off. I swore I'd never watch him again, and I haven't yet. Oh, never mind. Bigfoot. They says the Blazers got caught in that illegal gambling ring. So for anybody that don't know, there has been a sting slash illegal gambling ring being busted within the NBA. It's taken down Chauncey Billups. It's taken down a guy out of Miami, and I don't. I guess the Blazers got
Yeah,
a
what's
whole
going
bunch.
on with that exactly? Because I haven't been following that.
I don't know all the specifics of it either. I just know that it looks like they were using insider information for betting purposes,
Hmm.
knowing when somebody was going to be out, knowing when somebody's going to be in, that kind of deal.
Hmm.
That's the way I understood it. Which,
So they
if you're a
were like
coach,
fixing games. They were just like saying, like, "Yo, I
they're
think this guy might be injured."
or they're saying, "Hey, this guy's not going to play tonight. You might want to bet that way," or "I'm going to bet that way because this guy's not going to be in it tonight." But I I don't have a problem like you know the Pete Rose whole thing. I don't have a problem because he never bet supposedly on his own team's games. He would just bet on games. He
Hmm.
never threw any games. But I'm like, okay, we're being a little bit of a stickler for the rules. We're talking about no gambling when he's betting on other games that he has no control over. These people were betting on games they were physically involved in. Much like the way the gambling thing happened with the referees several years back, the NBA referees, several of them got nailed for betting on the games that they were officiating. There's a little bit of a conflict of interest there.
Damn.
So, There's a lot
As
to
if
be.
the NBA didn't need to take another hit, 'cause I saw something in the news saying that their viewership's down by, like, 50%
'Cause nobody
compared
gives a
to
shit about them no more.
yeah,
There's
nobody
nothing
gives
but
a
a
shit.
bunch of highlight reels out there. That's all of these kids coming out of college. They don't
Yeah.
wanna be part of a team like the back in the days of Magic and Kareem and Larry Bird and McHale and Parrish, the guys in the '80s and the '90s, even up through Kobe and Shaq, with LA. The teams aren't there anymore.
Paul says, "With sports gambling becoming such a big thing, I think we're going to see more of this."
I think we will too,
Now that got me
especially
curious,
yeah.
though, Randy. Tell me about your own personal history with, betting on games and sports, like, how much do you like to do it? How often do you do it, if you do it at all? When you got
Quite
the
frankly,
most
I've
into
never
it?
been one to do it. I've never
No?
been a gambler in any way, shape, or form outside of doing slot machines in Europe. When I was stationed in Europe, I do slot machines and stuff.
So
Or
you
if I
don't go to
happen to have
Vegas
been
at
at
all? You don't gamble
nope,
at all?
nope. I play poker, which we used to play poker which was quarter ante, 3 bump max. That was it.
Mhm.
Uh, quarter
So
ante
you
or quarter ante or and 50-cent limit, 3 bump max, dealer's choice. So we would get several people, and you take 2 rolls of quarters, you sit there, you might make $20 over the night. But as far as going in high stakes, yeah, no, 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 no. I like my money too much to be giving it away to them people.
so you never thought about sports gambling at all?
Friendly bets with your friends and stuff like that. That's one thing. I mean, I won $100. The first Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl in 1990, the Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl in 1992.
Mhm.
I won $100 on the NFC Championship game. And the guy I won it off of, I was stationed out on Johnston Island at the time, which was a whole
Oh,
nother animal.
you're betting against one person's bet, though.
Yeah,
It was
it was one person. It wasn't going out to a bookie or anything. This is just a friendly side bet type thing. Shook hands, $100. Okay, I win. He says, "Oh, we'll go double or nothing for the Super Bowl then," because he was going to bet on the Bills. Okay, I ain't won, or ain't lost. I'm good. I'm coming out even no matter what, right? So double or nothing. Sure enough, Dallas absolutely destroys uh, Buffalo. So I 200 bucks to the good. That's about the biggest bet I've ever had, other than playing poker on the side.
Were you betting for the Cowboys because you were loyal to them as a fan, or were you betting on them because you legitimately thought that they were gonna whip
At
their
that
ass?
time, it was because I was caught up in because I've been through so many years at that point from about 86, 87 when they started playing like they just came out of high school, and the end of the Tom Landry era and going into the Jimmy Johnson era, you know, they were just crap. They really were, but that was because Jimmy Johnson was building that team up. And when they broke through in '92, I did expect them to beat San Francisco in that championship game. But I said, you know what? I have an extra $100 at the time. I'm gonna bet it. I don't care. You want to talk shit to me? Yeah, we'll bet. And then next thing you know, right out of the bat, here comes Dallas destroying them. Okay, don't didn't think much about it. The guy said double or nothing. Well, we ought to beat the Bills. We should beat the Bills, no problem. After we did that, not only did we beat the Bills, we skull drug them all over the daggum football field for 4 quarters. So we won that one 55-13, I think, or 14. So yeah, and with sports gambling, I've just never been a one for it. I don't know why. The minute I bet on a team is most likely the time they're going to lose. So
So
that's
you
about
don't like
it.
to play games with your money. You
New.
play it
I love my
safe.
money too much.
Yeah.
There's too many other good things I could be doing with it at the house and then sitting
'Cause
there.
I see all those ads nowadays for those apps, those sports betting apps, where they give you, like,
Yeah,
free credit if you sign up, and
yeah. And I'm
I
not for
don't
sure
know.
that I had to look at it, but I'm not for sure it's truly legal in Texas yet, though.
Oh,
So
they're pretty strict about that?
I don't know how strict they are, but I do know that it's been up on the ballot several times, and or not ballots, but in the legislature and stuff about legalizing gambling. Whether or not they've legalized sports gambling yet, I don't know. I haven't been able to find the online sports betting and such. I can't tell you for sure because I just haven't been that much into it to even figure it out, and I don't care either, honestly. Because quite frankly, once again, I like my money. I want my money to stay here.
Hmm.
Best games are squad games. Okay,
I don't know what a squad game is.
I'm assuming that's going to be the different squads on basketball. I'm assuming that's what she's meaning. Because I mean, early squad games in football. That means that's early spring in college with the scrimmages and such. But oh,
Hmm.
Squid Games. She meant Squid Games.
Which means squid games.
Yeah, no, I ain't playing that either. But anyway, there really wasn't much as far as in the sports world. Now we just lost a legend in the NFL today. Former commissioner Paul Tagliabue passed away yesterday, I think, or early today. One of the two. It was announced earlier today. He was 88 years old, though. You know, he took over after Pete Rozelle back in the late 80s, early 90s time frame,
Hmm.
and he passed away. Of course, the Cowboys they lost their 24-year-old defensive
Yeah, I
end
was going to
earlier this
mention
week.
that.
Yeah,
He
I
took his
mean
own life.
that was a wild one though. I mean, because it it depending on which news out you listen to, it was a traffic stop and he took off and blew through it or whatever. But the way I also understand it is that the family was worried about him because he wasn't answering phone calls or anything like that, and they were worried about him. And I guess he'd had some of these mental breaks every so often before, but they were worried about it, and they called one of the police departments, and they requested help from the DPS. They put an APB out on him so they could try and find him to make sure he wasn't hurting himself or whatever. And I guess the DPS pulled him over in Irving area time here in Dallas, and he when they tried to pull him over, he sped away and got away from them. They finally found his car after he'd wrecked it, and he had fled on foot. And then they found him in a actual porta john where he'd already texted his family telling him goodbye and all this other stuff, and they were like wondering what's going on, where he at. He's and he'd already gone in the porta john and shot himself.
Jeez.
And what's really bad, and what makes it really weird to me, is because this kid literally just scored a touchdown. He was a second round draft pick last year. This was only his second season. 24 years old. He
Hmm.
scored a touchdown in that debacle that was Monday Night Football when we were playing that last Monday night. He
Hmm.
blocked punt. He recovered in the end zone for a touchdown.
Hmm.
This kid had nothing but upside. So I don't know. It's confounding. It really is confounding to me because I I know people have different levels of pain or whatever the case might be. It's just confounding to me on people that do it. It really is because I always look at people when people are starting to talk. Well, maybe you check see they help. No, you go right to them. You say, that's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Think of somebody else instead of yourself.
So it was probably most likely, I'm guessing it was CTE. He had
Yeah, but
some traumatic.
he'd only been there 2 years. They really hadn't had, the levels of build up
You could
like
get
the
up.
others. You can get it
You
any
could build
time.
up
Don't
a
get me
lot.
wrong.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
could build it up
but
plenty.
the most times that they talk about CTE is in the later years of their careers.
Yeah.
They start like Troy Aikman having 3 concussions in 1 year.
Hmm.
I mean, that's what really led to his retirement. He's like, screw this crap, I ain't doing it no more. And that's probably the best thing he could have ever done. So, I mean, could he have? Yeah, but I think he was uh had a depression thing going on that maybe had not been completely um diagnosed per se. But I I I don't want to talk for him obviously because I don't know his whole situation and I don't know their whole situation. And it's suicide to me. It's just it's a way of getting out of something for whatever reason. You just feel you can't do it no more. You can't do this. Well, look at your family and what you're going to do to them when you do it. Now, if you're completely dissociated with your family, I don't know what to tell you outside of that. I mean, but I can tell you right now, sitting in Iraq, in Mosul, Iraq, talking to one of my old company commanders who just happened to be on another transition team with me there. She wasn't on my team; she was on a different one. But we were talking in the mess hall. We happened to see each other, and we were talking. And this guy I knew at Fort Belvoir, he was an MP staff sergeant. Went over on the MIT teams and went back home. Committed, or no, didn't go back home. He did it from over there. Committed suicide.
Hmm.
His wife had just left him, and he had, or his wife died. No, I think his wife had left him, and he had just had custody. He had custody of their daughter because the woman just up and was gone, nowhere to be found. And after I don't even know if it got to a full divorce, but he got over there and killed himself. I'm like, now you got a little girl that is going to be lost for the rest of her life. And quite frankly, as much as I like the guy and everything, this people may think it's hard of me. They may think it's weird of me, and I know I'm going off on a tangent on it. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's a chicken shit way to leave in that situation, all because of a
Hmm.
woman. And now your daughter will never know her father.
Yeah.
So I know it sounds harsh. I know it sounds bad, but it's just the way I feel about it.
You're a harsh man, Randy Gilbert.
I don't know about all that, but I just
You're a harsh,
don't.
harsh man.
I get upset with that one sometimes. But now, don't get me wrong. This kid, I don't know if he had any children or not. I don't think
Hmm.
he did. But he's got a mom and dad though, and he had a girlfriend. I know he had a girlfriend or fiance.
I don't know. Like, I try not to pass any opinions on those kinds of things, only because you don't.
I'm not trying to pass opinion. I'm just saying that suicide in general, straight out in general, is what I'm saying. It is a permanent solution to a temporary problem because all of
Yep.
it's temporary, all of it. So anyway, so now back to the good stuff. Here's one for
Anyway,
you.
sure.
This one I'm gonna throw at you because I know you're gonna look up some more stuff there because this one young lady right here, the one on the left, Julia,
Hmm. Hmm.
it's spelled Guilia. Well, when she came to NXT, she was one of the hottest freaking stars coming from Japan. She came
Yeah.
into such fanfare.
Hmm.
The girl was a
She,
beast.
yeah.
She was a beast. She came in and probably within a month captured the NXT Women's title. And the only reason she lost is because they did the belt combination or belt versus belt with Stephanie Vaquer, which they
Mm.
were kind of getting a little. I think the reason they were getting behind more on Stephanie Vaquer was because they were in the process of acquiring AAA out of Mexico. But they brought her up to Raw originally, and then turned her heel, or they turned her heel. I'm sorry, they turned her heel in NXT, and then she dropped the titles to. She got a knee injury. She
Julia?
had what's that?
You're referring to Julia or the
Julia.
other person? Okay.
Julia. She dropped the title because she had had a knee injury, so she's going to have to drop the title anyway. But they kind of turned her heel in the process. Then they brought her up to Raw after she got better, and she was supposed to be doing a thing with what you call it with Io Sky at one point. She's supposed to be doing a program with her, and they were going to be kind of backing each other up type thing and be a partner thing. And she ended up turning on her. Next thing I know, she's being shipped up to SmackDown. Don't even know why. Just out of the blue, she's going to SmackDown. And that's when they put her with, I believe the girl's name's Kiana James. Because, quite frankly, Julia doesn't know English. And that's what a lot of people are saying might have been a bad thing for her. She didn't learn English like Stephanie Vaquer learned English, but I think Stephanie Vaquer had a working knowledge of English beforehand anyway. But, you got her coming out there and she takes the women's US title right off of freaking Chelsea Green. Now that's another girl. Dumb as a Acts like she's dumb as a box of rocks. But I'm gonna tell you right now, that girl is so over with the crowd. She can almost do no wrong. She could be the heeliest of heels, and the crowd's still gonna cheer at her. She
Are you
could
talking
be the
about? Wait, are you
Chelsea
talking
Green.
about?
Talking about
Okay,
Chelsea Green now.
you gotta relax with the pronouns, Randy. People can't follow you.
How so? He, she, it. It's done.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, but Chelsea is over like mad with
Hmm.
everybody. Okay. In
Yeah.
NXT, she goes back and forth NXT and SmackDown like crazy. And she's just good on the mic and she's decent in the ring. Julia, literally, after she won it, she had it for 133 days. She just lost it back to uh, Chelsea Green on SmackDown this week.
Hmm.
Okay. Julia has it for 133 days and just wrestled and defended it twice, other
Mm.
than the one she lost. Okay, so
133 days. She just wrestled for it twice. Damn,
that's, and to me that's the booking issue. But
that's a booking
I don't
issue.
know if they know what to do with her because all the other girls on SmackDown are wrapped up in the the women's world title race,
Hmm.
or they're going after the women's tag team title, which is Charlotte and freaking um, Alexa Bliss.
Hmm.
Which that was another thing that happened this week. You got them two getting beat up by all of a sudden Nia Jax. She's winning over what's called, but Last Legend shows up out of NXT to help Nia Jax, and I'm like sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, wait a second, it wasn't a month and a half ago when them two were fighting in NXT, and now all of a sudden she's up helping her. It didn't make any sense. Again, there's
And
no rhyme or reason from some of it.
I thought Triple H's booking would be better than that. That's why
I
people were
think that,
looking forward to Triple H taking over because they thought they'd be past all that shit,
yeah.
all that
So as you can
like
see,
term
and don't
booking.
get me wrong, you watch Julia in some of her decent matches, she can go with the best of them by a long shot. Okay,
Mm. She needs to learn
instead
English.
now she's got to learn English. That's what's helped Stephanie
I learn
Becker. Oh,
English.
okay.
So for
Now,
people who don't know, Julia, this girl,
yeah.
shit. Anyway, this girl was
What, did you get stuck up
she
on her?
she grew up. No, she was born in the UK to an Italian father and a
Yep.
Japanese mother. But then, like shortly after she was born, they moved to Japan because the father wanted to start an Italian restaurant in
Yeah.
Japan.
Yep.
And so she grew up there. Apparently, she was like bullied. So the only way she could find any form of self-actualization, I guess, was to go into pro wrestling. She climbs the ranks of women's pro wrestling in Japan. She's in
Yeah.
promotions like Stardom, and she's tearing it up, man. She's
Yeah.
fucking good in the ring.
Yep.
Um, she can cut a promo, but in Japanese.
Yeah. And if she learned a little bit of English, it'd help. But it's the same thing with EO Sky. She doesn't hardly know any English, but her energy comes across. You know what I mean? The
Mhm.
crowd gets what she's trying to say. Kyrie Sane's the same way. The crowd gets it because they know how to put that
Well,
facial expression on.
also, they're Japanese. Like you look at them and you don't expect them. This girl
No.
looks white. You expect her
Yep.
to speak English. So when you see that she doesn't, people are like, "What? Like she only speaks Japanese?" Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like it. And trust me, there's other pictures out there. You gotta. She's not afraid of doing things. Let's put it that way.
Mm.
But and
But she's nasty in the ring, guys. She is really good.
oh, good lord! I mean, if she's got the right opponent, I'm gonna
Actually,
tell you
we
right
could
now.
probably show like highlight videos from not WWE, of course,
No,
but
yeah,
from like
anything from
Stardom.
Stardom, maybe.
Yeah, we could show. Hold on.
If you can show anything from Stardom, that, like I said, that girl, she could bring it. I mean, and there's a couple others like in NXT. You talk about they brought in Zarya. Now Zarya was a big name, in other faction and other promotions as well, but she can't. She's just not a good mic person. So they put her with the worst mic person in NXT, Sol Ruka. Sol Ruka can't talk either, but it works out because Sol Ruka is one that can actually go with all of them, and she's got probably the best finisher out of all the women right now.
Mm. I'm looking at the highlight right now of Chelsea Green pinning Julia.
Yeah, you see it,
Yeah.
and the crowd is actually cheering for Chelsea.
Hmm. And then there's another one where Julia crushes Chelsea Green in her NXT debut. I like
Yep,
Chelsea Green though.
she could do anything. She's one of them hands you got to have that can
Mm.
actually get somebody else over. You know what I mean? But yeah, she ended up winning it by putting the feet up on the rope on a pin. But you could tell that it was one of those things that, yeah, no, 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 no. But now there's also rumor control out there that they actually have something big planned for Julia. Which, if they bring her over to Raw to start feuding with Stephanie Vicaire, I'd be all over that because
Mm.
that's going to be matches on the level of what Stephanie and Io Sky were having.
Hold on,
But
I'm trying to find this picture to
okay,
upload. I'm looking for it. Oh, here we go. So, bear with me. I'm just uploading right now.
are you good?
I'll show you what made me a fan of Chelsea Green. If my phone isn't completely fucking retarded. Hold on 1 second.
You know she was on NXT this last week, right? Chelsea
Who?
Green was.
Chelsea Green?
Yeah, they were doing her and Ethan Page were doing their celebration of winning the mixed tag championship from AAA.
Yeah.
They had the cake in the ring, which every time there's somebody who's going to pop out of the cake and screw somebody up, right? Well,
Hmm.
they're sitting there thinking it's Joe Hendry, and they say, "Yeah, say his name," and they're sitting there waiting to hit it. They say his name, and here comes Joe Hendry, but he comes from the back, and everybody's like, "Look at that!" Says, maybe we need to say her name. And there's another person that we don't talk about enough because she's building herself up. She's starting to really shine a little bit more and more, and that's Thea Hale. It says say her name, and Thea Hale pops out of the cake and just goes. She hits him with pies in the face, and Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona actually put it out. For those who don't know, the original Zack Ryder, i.e., Matt Cardona, who was Zack Ryder in the WWE, is married to Chelsea Green,
Hmm.
and she comes out and got Ethan Page and the other girl I can't remember who it is next to her, and she's got and she literally looks into the camera and says, "I have never been creamed on like this." Needless to say, Matt Cardona goes, "Huh?"
So, this gimmick that she had, remember this?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, for those of you who don't know, this is Chelsea Green, right? So, but
Yes, it
this is
is.
when she was in TNA.
DNA. Yep,
So, back in TNA, there was a storyline where she got like fucked over in this wedding angle.
yep. What was
So
her
for a
name in
while,
TNA? I can't even remember.
no, I think it was just Chelsea Green in
Was it
TNA.
still Chelsea Green in it?
Yeah, I think she was managed to use her.
Her
So
real name,
anyway,
yeah.
she afterwards for all of her subsequent matches would come down like all crying, so her makeup would be all fucked up.
Hmm.
And then she would have like a champagne bottle getting all drunk, and she'd be in a wedding dress that was all torn up and dirty. And she would wrestle like that, and she was known as
Yep,
the hot mess.
that sounds about right. That
I
happened
like
to her
that
time. I
gimmick. She
really
pulled
was
it off
not.
real well, man. Her character work was really good.
That's what I'm saying. She can talk. She can go. She can actually wrestle. I mean, it's kind of over the top a lot. But she can do it, and she can actually make people look good. But her characters, no matter what she's saddled with, she turns it into gold. She really does.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but anyway, so yeah, having her have that back, I mean, she's going to be transitional because they'll probably figure out somebody else to bring up. Um, who it's going to be, I don't know. Because quite frankly, they haven't had Jordan Grace on NXT in a little bit since she lost to Blake Monroe, whoever the one who used to be Mariah May or whatever in uh, AEW. She's Blake
Yeah.
Monroe there. But I keep thinking, who's the best? So right now, I mean, I would have said originally Rhea Ripley was probably the best women's wrestler, bar none, in the world. Because she could have a match with everybody. You know what I mean? She could go with everybody, and everybody looked good with her. I haven't seen her wrestle in a while. Is she hurt again? I haven't heard about her being hurt, but they haven't had nothing for her. She hasn't done anything. It's
Mm.
like they've taken all the booking and storyline progressions and turned them into slow mos for weeks at a time.
Yeah. Man, I've been seeing a lot of stuff about WWE online, man. People be complaining about their booking and about the state of SmackDown and Raw and all that.
Oh,
And
somebody showed pictures of the Saturday Night's Main Event last time, and they were showing pictures of the crowd. The crowd was not there. Their
it was
crowds are not
empty.
there. Yeah,
Yeah, and
and
people have been
quite
getting priced
frankly,
out.
yeah, they are. They're being priced out.
Mhm.
There was somebody said something along the lines. It was over $1,000 for 4 tickets for somebody to take the kids or whatever to go see it. And I'm just like, why would I do that when I can sit at home and spend $20 and watch it on one of the streamers?
Right.
And quite
They think
frankly, I've
people will
never,
pay.
yeah. And people still pay it. You will not be able to go to a WrestleMania, to next year's WrestleMania, unless you're ready to drop down about 5 grand. That's the only way
Mm.
you're going to be able to get there and go. And that one's in Vegas. The year after, it's going to be in daggum Saudi Arabia. 2027, it's going to be in Saudi Arabia. So none
Mm.
of the Americans are going to be there for that.
Mm.
And quite frankly, it just I'm at the point now. If they're going to get in bed with the Saudis, I really don't give a shit if I watch much of their stuff anyway. I mean, you
Yeah.
got to get money. I understand that, but you got too many people that won't go over there. And once again, I look at CM Punk. He said he would never do it, never do it, never do it. Sure enough, what the hell did he do when the money got to the table? Oh yeah, I'll do it. So
Yeah,
anyway,
that's up to people, you know. People have their own individual stances on things, right? People have their
yeah,
political views, so I
yeah,
guess that's up to the individual and how much are they
and it
willing to
should be.
compromise that.
But you know what? You know what's going to happen when those people start doing that? They're going to get buried. So now I got. What did you think? We all know that Seth Rollins got written out because of the shoulder injury and such. And how?
Shoulder injury, yeah.
What did you think about? Did you get to see last Monday's stuff?
Well, I know that, someone came out with, like, I think it was a review of SmackDown, actually,
Uh
where
huh.
they basically said they called it the ruthless regression because of all the factional stuff going on with, like, you know,
Yeah.
the
Oh
family.
yeah. You talk
And
about uh. Oh wait, the family. That's on AEW. Don Callis family.
no, 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 I'm talking about I'm not saying specifically the family, I'm talking about, the
Oh
Usos and
yeah. Yeah, because you got the MFTs, which is what Solo's got with all
yeah,
the Tongans, and
yeah,
then you got the Wyatt Six that are there too, which I think would be a cool little match. Honestly, you put the Wyatt Six against the daggum
mhm,
the MFTs in a that war game style match or whatever.
yeah,
That'd be kind of cool, but I don't know how much it'll go because hell, I don't even know what happened to Bo Dallas as Uncle Howdy. He just kind of
yep,
disappeared.
yep,
So I don't know. I mean, it was cool the first time they did it when the MFTs were in the ring after beating somebody, and then all of a sudden the lights go out and there's the Wyatt Six come up behind them. I'm like, might get a little bit interesting, but That's only because I like Joe Gacy and Dexter Loomis though, because they can actually go with people. Nikki Cross can still go too. I mean, it's not like she can't wrestle.
I
But
like Nikki Cross.
yeah, she's always been a decent wrestler.
Yeah.
Um, I like to see where it's kind of going with it, but when they do that though with the tag titles need to be off the White Six before it happens because it doesn't need to be mixed up in that. It needs to be back on one of those guys like the Motor City Machine Guns or the to a lesser extent the Street Profits maybe. Yeah, I mean, I don't see the titles needing to be in there. But again, I'm not the booker. Yes, I wish they'd take EBT cards. I'd get them.
Oh,
But
Nemobeer.
well, and
Yeah.
as we were talking about that, shifting our look over to the AEW bunch. That's that other one I was talking about. What we were talking about beforehand. These two girls right here. They've literally had one other match in uh, AEW. And for those that don't know, I had to look it up myself because Donnie had to remind me. He recognized Nixon Newell. Nixon Newell was Tegan Knox
Yeah.
in WWE. So now Miranda Elise, I don't know who she is. Best I can tell, AAA and TNA at one time. But they literally had one match, and they were going against Marina Shafir and uh, what the heck was the other girl's name? Megan Bain, big girl, the big girl Megan Bain. So they went against them, of course, lost in short order. They went into the collision tapings, wanted more than a 3 minute match that somebody had said that they didn't want to lose, but that was not the case actually. They went in and said they wanted more than 3 minutes to make the match look decent. You know what I mean? And they were told no, and they walked out. Well, the people stepped up behind them and took it and said the two girls that took it, said, "Heck yeah, we'll do it." So guess what, girls? You just tried to political yourself clean out of daggum.
Wait, who was it that refused to do the 3 minute match?
There wasn't the company had only allotted them 3 minutes. They wanted more than 3 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and then they
Who's they?
walked out. Nixon Newell and Miranda Elise.
Oh, these two? Okay.
These two right
So
here.
they just walked out
Yep.
on AEW? Damn.
So guess what they did? They just killed their own daggum AEW careers.
They just killed their careers.
Yeah, I mean,
Damn.
now don't get me wrong. Tony Khan is pretty much turning into more of a wrestling businessman because he's already gotten burned by all these other little bitches he's hired before. CM Punk, Cody, not so much Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes and him just didn't see eye to eye.
That was a lot of it was Tony's fault on CM Punk. He could have handled
Yeah.
that better.
Well, Tony could have handled a lot of stuff better,
Yeah.
but he wanted to be a Vince McMahon type instead of being the guy that run the company.
Yeah.
Be the guy that actually runs the company. Don't sit there and play it. Be it. And he was getting run over by big names. And sorry, you get your head out your ass. Their best thing right now to me is Samoa Joe. They keep Samoa Joe going. I'm happy.
Is he healthy to wrestle though? Because he had to leave
Yeah.
originally because of all those concussion issues.
Well, him or Brian Danielson.
Hmm.
It was Brian Danielson originally retired in WWE because of the concussion issues.
Yeah.
As far as Joe, not that I knew of, Joe kept having knee injuries and stuff like that. But once again, though, Samoa Joe had a match. Well, he just had a match with at their last pay per view or whatever it was with Adam Page, Hangman Adam Page for the world title. So, and he's still going at it with him. You know what I mean? They just had an interaction this last week. So, and he's still the best. He's the best in their daggum on their roster on the mic. He's the best on the mic out of their entire roster, no matter what. So just remember, Joe's gonna kill you. Joe's gonna kill you. And I hear that every time. I'm like, man, not good. But anywho, oh hey, by the way, did you hear about the wardrobe malfunction on Saturday night or on Friday night on
I heard of
SmackDown?
it, but I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it either because they cut away from it. They never showed it all. So, but there was a. I'll just say Charlotte Flair had a wardrobe malfunction, and they cut away,
Hmm.
and she was. I guess it either got pulled down, she got exposed somehow, but she did come back and say she's going to start wrestling in the robes from now on.
Hmm.
Now, I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of people hate Charlotte Flair because Charlotte Flair's this or Charlotte Flair's that. I tell you what she has done. She's built a more of a personality in this run than she did in the others. She was always that entitled whatever, Now she's almost like she's a little bit more vulnerable with friendships and stuff like that. She's developed a sense of humor is what's
Yeah.
actually happened, and it's coming across in the actual matches and the actual interviews and stuff.
Sometimes you just gotta let it out there, man. I think she just kind of
Yeah.
stopped giving a fuck.
Well, she's already done everything you could do. I mean, she's had two or three, maybe four WrestleMania matches that were matches that damn near stole the show.
Hmm.
The first match with her and her, Mercedes Moné, and which was Sasha Banks at the time, and Becky Lynch in Dallas, WrestleMania 32, I think it was. And that's that match alone by itself was the best match of the show to me. She was doing those moonsaults off the corner, on the girls outside. She was doing the stuff in the ring, that they were moving like they knew exactly what the heck was going on all the time. There was no botches, there was no falling, there was no mistime. They had everything down to a T as far as their timing. Then she got into it with Rhea Ripley the first time, which was a decent match when
Yeah.
she challenged Rhea Ripley. And then when Rhea Ripley challenged her, that match was the best match on that entire freaking SmackDown, or not SmackDown, WrestleMania card as far as I was concerned. Watching that match, and it was every bit of 25 to 30 minutes with all the near falls, but they didn't destroy their own finishers. You know what I mean? Like the men have been doing. Their
They haven't
finishers
been,
were still believable.
they haven't been burying their own finishers. I get
Yeah.
it.
And I'm just like, this is insane. But they by far gave the best. But then again, she had that match last year against Tiffany Stratton. They were already hyping this real world heat between the two. And I'm just like sitting there thinking to myself, you just because Tiffany doesn't know how to cut a freaking promo yet. Y'all haven't worked with her. So now Tiffany's gotten better, and then they take the bit off of her. They take the belt off her and put it on Jade freaking Cargill.
I um I just looked up the wardrobe malfunction on my phone.
Did you?
It was indeed a wardrobe malfunction.
Oh Lord, did they come completely down?
No, it's like it's like the top has got like these straps,
Yeah, yeah,
like these web straps,
yeah.
and the nips were peeping out.
Oh
The nips were
God,
peeping out. The thing is, she was kind of just like there, and I clearly just didn't notice that the nips were out, but the nips
yeah.
were out.
Hey, when you're in that situation, I guess you just roll with it.
Yeah,
Could be worse. I mean, people don't realize that probably 15, 20 years ago, you remember Jacqueline, the black lady that was with the Dudley boys every so often or whoever.
yeah, yeah.
She
I
was a
remember that.
hellacious wrestler too. Don't get me wrong. And she's from Dallas here. That's why she's actually in the Hall of Fame now that I think about it. Dudley's inducted her, but she's in the Hall of Fame. Jacqueline was a beast, but she was up on, I forget who it was. She was a referee. She had a referee shirt on, and she was on somebody's shoulders. They were picking her up, getting ready to do an electric chair type thing. Somebody
Yeah.
reached up and grabbed the back of her shirt and jerked it, and it pulled the whole top, and she was just bare ass open up there,
Hmm.
all for all the world to see. And I'm just like, I'm in love. I
Damn.
know that sounds bad, but yeah, that shit, that stuff really happens a lot,
That shit
and
happens, man.
it, it it's surprising that it hasn't been seen more often. But hell, remember Charlie Haas? He was married to that one girl. I can't remember who it was now. Her name because she was like a tough enough person. Uh, her name was Jackie, I think. But anyway, she got up there. One guy, he was fighting one guy, and she got up there, grabbed it, did one of these, go shh, and flashed him, and the guy's like, and got rolled up for the pin. I was like, that's cool
That
as
was on
hell.
purpose. Yeah.
Exactly, that was cool as hell. Use that crap, you know.
Yeah.
They couldn't get away with it now, though.
Oh, the
But
roll up, the most devastating move in professional wrestling. The roll up.
yeah, the schoolboy.
I would make
This
if I
is
could make my own wrestler, I would make a heel, and that was his finisher, the roll up. He was like the master of the roll up, and
yeah,
everyone just
roll them
hates
up
his
and
gut.
out of the nowhere, just like the
Yeah,
RKO, out of
out of
nowhere, the
nowhere,
roll up.
the roll up.
Well, I mean, hell, think about it. I mean, how did Eddie Guerrero beat Kurt Angle in that WrestleMania match when they were? He caught him as he come running in, and he caught him with a small package that was like in
Yeah,
a midair small package. Catches him and they flip him midair and gets him down and roll and pins him. And I'm like, that was the coolest small package I think I ever saw in my life.
the
It really
ultimate
was
roll up.
the ultimate roll up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good as if the story's told right. It's freaking
Mhm.
great if the story is told right. That,
You know why? That's why I always liked Mr. Perfect's finisher, the Perfect Plex,
oh yeah,
because
Fisherman's
it
Suplex.
wasn't about, like, the damage or, like, getting them to tap or nothing in terms of compared to other finishers. It was just a move that, like, it was not a roll up, but it was kind of the same idea where he would just put you in a cradle and suplex you, and it was just
Mhm.
impossible for wrestlers to get out of,
Yeah, he he
and then they'll
he
just
did
get
so well
pinned.
and
Yeah.
sold it so well. I mean, that's like Jake the Snake's DDT. DDT is a joke now, but if you bring Jake the Snake back in there to do it, they're going to stay down. You know what I mean?
Well, the DDT is, like, different because that's, like, damage, right? Like, when the opponent takes that, they're so damaged that they get pinned, whereas the
Not so
perfect
much
plex is
anymore.
just well, yeah, obviously, but the idea of it but the perfect plex, the idea of it was it wasn't damaging, it was just they were just trapped in it. That was it.
Yeah, it
They
was
kept the
impossible to
pin.
quote unquote break.
Yeah.
You were already stunned from the
See, all
suplex
the
part
other
of it.
ones is damage, right?
Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior, damage. Hulk Hogan, damage, right? What was Ravishing Rick Rude's, finisher?
Originally, it was a DDT. Like it was the Rude Awakening. It was originally a DDT type move, but then
Yeah?
they turned it into the reverse neck breaker.
Oh, okay. I forget some of their finishers. Like, I don't remember Hacksaw Jim Duggan's finisher.
His was a spear. It was not the
It
spear
was a
like you
spear.
see it now. It was
Yeah.
like a football spear where the hands come up and he bap, hits them like that.
Yeah, you
And
never saw that
in
too often.
WWE, it was that running clothesline. So
What was, Roddy Piper's finisher?
sleeper. It was
The
always a
sleeper?
sleeper. Yep, that was his claim to fame. Um, I mean, of course, the Von Erichs with the Iron Claw, but you had Baron von Raschke that had the claw. The mass spoiler from the late '70s, early '80s, Don Jardine, he used the claw as well. Um, I'm going back to my WCCW days, but gentleman Chris Adams had the super kick. That's where that got started. The super kick and all sweet chin music and all that all started with Chris Adams. And then him and the Great Kabuki had have matches against the thrust kick, was Kabuki's signature kick, versus the super kick.
Who was the first person to incorporate the super kick as the finisher?
That was Chris Adams.
Chris Adams?
Yeah,
Hmm.
unless somebody did it before that I didn't know about, but he's the first famous one that did it. So originally the super kick was set up for an insecurity because he used to people he'd get his foot after he do a super kick. They get the foot, he'd do the insecurity, and that so when he did it, it sounded like he was kicking the ever loving teeth out of him.
Oh, man, yeah.
So I'm like, it sounded great, but he did that for a while, and then that kind of went away, and they just stuck with super kick.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, and then of course now after that, Jose Lothario wrestled with these guys in Fort Worth and Dallas, and that's who trained Shawn Michaels. So Shawn Michaels kind of got it that away, you know.
What was Big Boss Man's finisher? You
Uh,
remember?
Boss Man Slam, Black Hole Slam, Boss Man Slam. That was the biggest one. That was what
Mhm.
it was. Run off the rope. You had that one. Yeah, I think that he had a splash at one time when he was Big Brother Rogers in
Mhm.
WCW days and the UWF days. He would come off top rope with a splash, but he kind of got away from that real quick. He
Mm.
got up to WWF as Big Boss Man, and that's when he developed the. It was called the Boss Man Slam, and of course, the Biz adapted it to the Black Hole Slam.
Yeah. And then let's see, Sting had the Scorpion Deathlock, which was
Yep.
essentially the sharpshooter.
Yeah, they're basically the same thing, which they're all a variation of the Texas Cloverleaf by Dory Funk
Yeah.
Jr. Hey, what's up,
Hey there.
Riley? Hey, what's going on, Jason?
And I'm trying to think, what was Arn Anderson's finisher?
He depending on, of course, he was mainly all tag teams. He had the Gourd
Yeah.
Buster, which is the front suplex,
Mhm.
suplex and then drop him forward. He had, of course, always had that iconic Spine Buster, which he won a lot with. And when he was with the Minnesota Wrecking Crew with him and Ole Anderson, it was the arm bars. They would go into the arm bars and they, big knee to the shoulder, and then put him in that
Mm.
arm bar. But as far as he never really had a real finishing maneuver, though. Of course, he was always the enforcer. Spine Buster was always it, or the Gourd Buster.
It was the Spine Buster, I think, right?
That was one of it. That was his signature
Yeah.
move. Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, that's why Triple H uses it to this day. Well, whenever he was in the ring, anyway. And now you've got guys out there like Braun Breaker used it here a while back too.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's people out there using it and stuff. But yeah, he. I'm trying to think who else would have done what. I mean, but the old days. I mean, it depended on what federation you were in, what you were using, and what it was called. You know what I mean?
Randy, let me ask you this question then. You
Okay.
are a wrestler. What are your signature moves?
Figure four, because I tell you right now, I put men. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say it's all real because you could stop somebody from putting you in the figure four quite easily.
Yeah.
But if figure four gets put on you, if they don't want you to roll over or they don't want you to actually do anything, short of bashing somebody in the knee, you're not getting out of it. Okay. Only reason I say this because I did that with a guy and he literally tried to roll me over and I just cinched it in. He could not get out.
Yeah.
Once you put pressure on that, it hurts. It really hurts. Um, after that, I mean, DDT is one of my favorites. Always has been one of my favorites because it was like the RKO at that time. Jake would
Mhm.
hit it out of the blue, out of nowhere, type thing.
Mhm.
But that was the old style. Now they just it's iffy, blah blah blah, whatever type thing. Bigfoot fades. My brother was a wrestler and always practice on me. Yeah. Oh, you did it too. I was gonna do it. And he lay on the ground and kick. Yeah. My only pistol lay on the ground. I used to do that to my sister. I'm gonna tell you right now. My mom and dad, and we were 10, 11, 12 years old at the time. My mom and dad had a king size bed, and it was nothing, and I mean nothing, for us to get up there. And the only thing I had to watch out for when I was coming off top rope, which was the corner post of the bed, when I was coming off the top rope, was make sure I didn't hit the ceiling fan. That's all I had to worry about.
Mhm.
But I'd drop her on her head with a DDT, and she'd look at me like, "You asshole," and then go tell mom I beat her up.
You know what I would do if I were okay, so if I were a wrestler, right? My signature moves would be first, my main move, my bread and butter would be the
The
open
roll
hand
up,
slap.
the
The
roll up,
open hand slap.
the open hand slap.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. In my opinion, the open hand slap is one of the best moves in all pro wrestling. Here's why. Number one, it's easy to do.
Yeah,
Number two, it's relatively safe.
yeah,
It's not like, it's not like a
Not like the slapping contest. I mean, it's literally
yeah.
your
Well, they're trying to knock each other out, right? But you could do
yeah,
it. You could do a slap in a way where you get the most noise without actually causing like concussive impact.
exactly,
I mean, those slap contest guys, they're practically doing palm strikes on each other. That's a completely different thing.
exactly.
Yeah,
No fun in that. Sorry, no
yeah.
fun.
So easy to do, safe, but it generates a lot of noise and it creates an emotional impact reaction to the crowd. Because then every time you see an open hand slap, people respond, be like, "Oh shit, he didn't just do
Oh yeah,
that."
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
It makes sense.
that's why, in my opinion, functionally, the open hand slap is one of the best moves.
Yeah.
My signature move was we talked about this a few weeks ago, where I would have them upside down in a tree of woe and have their legs open and go right up into their balls and then do
Oh
a
yeah, and
flick.
thump them. Yeah, you told me about that.
And I'll call it the tree of Cho. But then my finisher would be a roll up.
Have to be. Got to be a
Yeah.
roll up.
It would always be the roll up.
Then you're just daring somebody to try and kick out of the roll up.
Yeah.
You know,
But then
that's
it
fun.
becomes really obvious. So then the opponent's like, I know what he's going for.
How do I stop it?
Yeah.
Then you come up with the full Joeism, just like you're in Karate Kid. Go, it's
Oh,
too right
what
or
if the
can
roll
depends.
up what if the idea of the roll up is you sneak up behind them and then you grab them in the balls and then you roll them up?
I think there was a guy that did that already, and that was that Joey.
Oh, Joey
Uh,
Ryan?
yeah, Joey Ryan. I think he did that at one point in TNA before
Well,
he
they
started
would
doing
grab
all.
him, but yeah,
Yeah,
the dick flick.
I think he was trying to do it too. At one point, he'd wake up behind, grab them, and then roll them up after he grabbed them
Yeah.
and clawed their balls. Yeah, no, dude, don't touch me. It's good.
But no one's ever thought of doing the tree of Cho where they flick them in the balls. That's gonna be my move.
Well,
Most
after I watch,
disrespectful man in wrestling.
yeah, no shit. I can see that right
Were
now.
there
You
any
just walk up,
famous
and slap
finishing
somebody
moves that were banned because it was too dangerous? The Muscle Buster.
for a while. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
the Muscle
it
Buster.
can't do it in WWE at all. At all,
Yeah, they don't let you do that.
because poor old Joe and Samoa Joe kicks himself in the ass for it to this day. He beats himself up about because Tyson Kidd he ended Tyson Kidd's career, and Tyson Kidd you come back he doesn't blame him. It was just a freak accident, is what it was. But Joe blames himself to this day. He's done the interviews. He's like, if he would take everything back, if he could not have hit him with that at that time, because something just didn't hit right. And I mean, same thing. Uh, there's been a lot with this with Ridge Holland this last week. Talk about how he can't pay his bills or whatever. He got released after getting hurt. Got released. Well, it happens to a lot of people, but he took his stuff out onto social media, and yet they were paying for his rehab. They're paying for him to get better, but he still got to make money. You know what I mean to feed his
Yeah.
family. And he uh he was the one that broke Big E's neck.
Mhm.
Okay, but they both people are holding it over his head. Big E even has said it wasn't his fault. It was just a pure D freak accident. He
Yeah,
didn't do it on purpose. He didn't. None of them are going to do it on purpose to each other. D'Lo
right.
Brown draws his neck, broke his neck, paralyzed him.
What was the move that he used to break Drozd's neck?
He was doing a power. They were trying to do a power bomb, which they called the at that time it was the sky high or low down. I can't remember which one it was, but he was doing a power bomb maneuver, and I guess it didn't. When he dropped him down, it got right square on the neck to the point that it paralyzed Drozdov,
Mm.
and he was paralyzed. He's dead now. I mean, he died several years later, but uh, it he was in a wheelchair the rest of his life, quadriplegic,
Oh,
and
Droz is dead now?
yeah, Droz is dead. Droz been dead for a few years.
Oh. Oh, I didn't
But
know that.
that happens with the quadriplegic. They're sooner or later the body just gives out, completely gives out. It just doesn't have it left to keep going. But the once that happened, D'Lo, I don't think D'Lo's been in a ring since. If he has, it's only been as a charity type thing because I think that messed with his mind more than it messed with Draws's mind. You know what I mean? He carries
Mm.
that with him probably to this day.
Man, this Nixon Newell walking out on AEW drama is all over the dirt sheets right now.
Which doesn't make any sense. They literally had
Oh,
one match before
yeah.
that. So
Man,
yeah,
this drama's getting kind of ugly.
what really needs to
Yikes.
be done now is Tony Khan needs to step up and say, okay, they're fired. They left. They didn't fulfill their stuff. They didn't like what they got given to them. There are no names, quite frankly, in the roster. I'm not gonna put up with this shit. Bye.
Mm.
Now carry your ass to whatever independent promotion you want to go work in a gym at and have a nice life. Because quite
Mm.
frankly, Tegan Knox, the only reason she or Nixon Newell, whatever his name is, the only reason she didn't make it in the WWE is because she just could not stay healthy. She had how many freaking knee surgeries? So
So, reading the dirt sheets, they're saying that Julia losing to Chelsea Green wasn't that she was being buried, because a lot of fans were like complaining that she was being
yeah,
buried,
yep.
but they're actually saying, according to the backstage rumors,
That's what I was
that
saying earlier.
it was actually to set Julia up for a push,
Yeah.
just to take it in a
Now
different creative direction. But it looks like they're having her set up. They're going to set her up in a feud with Jade Cargill.
that I'd love to see because Jade Cargill needs
Yeah,
somebody like Julia to make her look good. She is still so green and still so I don't know. I mean, she's green in some aspects, but she's still as far as you give her make her be the monster that destroys everything in her path, she's gold. But if she has to go and go with a good wrestler, they need to make her look good. She needs to be able to actually wrestle with them. And she hasn't had that in the WWE yet. And quite frankly, no matter what anybody ever tells me, and I'll tell you this till my dying day, Bianca Belair is not that. She cannot wrestle. She's a botch machine. She is absolutely, completely, and utterly worthless in that ring. If you ask me. Oh yeah, she's powerful. She can pick somebody up and slam them. Okay, have a nice life. I know a bunch of people could pick up Andre the Giant, slam him. Doesn't mean they were worth a shit.
oh, that's her girlfriend, by the way,
Who?
Nixon Newell. That picture you showed?
Oh, they're together
They're
together.
dating. Yeah.
Okay, well then that's even better. Bye.
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, honestly, you don't go into it to a TV taping and think you got something to hold over somebody. Oh, we'll just walk
Yeah.
out. Well, guess what? They just plugged in the people right behind you into your place, shot it anyway, and now you're out of a job. Good
Hmm.
job, dumbass. Hey, Riley, Cobra Santino Morella is still using the Cobra in TNA. He's their director of
Yeah,
authority.
he's still using that.
And I thought that was the funniest thing in the world when he did it. It's and the people that he's with, the people have to sell it right. You know what I mean? Because it ain't no good if they don't sell it right.
Hmm.
But in all honesty, Santino Morella, I don't remember his real name. He does have a judo background though.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but anywho, dang, we got an hour and 15 minutes without even thinking about it.
Hmm.
Trying to think if there's any. Trying to think of a finish move that was banned. The pile driver was the sit out version of the pile driver, the one that Owen Hart used on
Yeah, that's another one I
Steve
was gonna
Austin.
mention when,
Yeah,
Riley asked which moves were banned, the,
that one's still
pile
banned.
driver.
That one's still quote unquote banned because he did it and it was just a freak accident. And Stone Cold Steve Austin takes credit for doing it. He didn't hold up where he should have held up too. You know what I mean? He said it wasn't all his fault. It was part of mine because I did not position myself right for him.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, because I know a lot of people that use the sit out pile driver. I mean, Rikishi used it forever. Didn't
Yeah.
hurt a single person, but he would set it up where they would go onto his thigh and not onto the ground.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one got banned for a long time. If it isn't still banned, um, damn, I'm trying to think what else. Because quite frankly, I was watching. I read something today. You know, Stone Cold when he was in WCW, he used that same move, that sit out pile driver, as his
Yeah,
finisher for a while. So,
he did. Where's
but
some other
yeah,
movies that were banned? I know there were a few others.
for a long time in the independents back in the 80s and 90s, the Brain Buster, different ones, it was banned. Hell, if you were in Mid South during the Bill Watts era, you couldn't come off the top rope. That was a
Hmm.
disqualification. Yeah, Bigfoot fades. If that and that movie, now she said mentioned earlier that the Condemned. I saw that movie. You ain't missing nothing. Okay, first of all, it's okay, but it's just another avenue of putting somebody. You want to see him do his best acting work as far as Stone Cold goes. His best acting work was in with Adam Sandler in Longest Yard, that remake, and that was only because he was a guard and he was an asshole. It
Oh,
worked.
they recently banned the 450 splash.
Well, yeah, because you got people trying to do it and they're landing wrong and they're hurting people
Yeah,
underneath them.
and the Shooting Star Press was banned because of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, he almost killed
But
himself.
oh no, they unbanned it recently though for certain wrestlers.
Yeah, but they've got it.
Uh,
At one point, they had to show Vince when Vince was still there. They had to go out and show Vince that they knew how to do it and do it right and do it safely before he let them use it.
Buckle
Still-
Bomb has been banned.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, and a Vertebreaker. Which one's a Vertebreaker?
Vertebreaker was the one Billy Kidman used in WCW. It was like he'd hook and the legs would be up here over the shoulder. He'd have them double underhook with their arms here, and he would
Okay,
sit out and like drive the neck onto the ground.
okay.
There's a lot. Let me see if I can find.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's like a variation of the pile driver, right?
No, it's not even close to a pile driver. Let's see here. Okay, vertebreaker. Okay, this was actually done in WWF. Now I lied. It was not uh, Billy Kidman. It was Shane Helms when Shane Helms was in WCW, and then when he came to WWF. So this one is luckily it's not them. It's the old WWF. So I'm going to put it on here just out of shits and giggles for the fun of it. We'll see if I get yelled at. How's that?
YouTube just cuts the feed.
This is a vertebreaker.
Oh yeah, that I could see why that would be banned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you can see if somebody's not paying attention to it and not,
yeah,
you saw how he lifted his head up, right? Somebody's not paying attention. That could really drive somebody,
yeah. That could
hurt
end
them
their
bad.
career. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yep, yep, yep.
so that makes sense. And my favorite move of women of all time, really, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Soul Snatcher. The Soul Snatcher by Soul Ruka is amazing. Okay. Watching her try and the way she hits it, it's probably the best one now. But the original best ones I've ever, the freaking Widow's Peak by Victoria slash Tara. The Widow's Peak was probably the greatest female wrestler move of all time to me. Do you remember it?
I don't know that one. You're gonna have to show
You don't
me.
know the you don't know the Widow's Peak? Oh goodness gracious. Going. Hang on, time out, guys.
That was the Hurricane.
Yeah, that was the Hurricane.
Hmm.
Hurricane was Shane
Hurricane
Helms,
Helms. Yeah.
and in WCW was Shane Helms, and became the Hurricane. And remember Rosie, superhero in training.
Yep.
Let's see the Widow's Peak Wrestling. There we go. See if I can get one of this. And I always loved it because this was no, that's WWE's got that one. I don't want to show that one because Victoria, quite frankly, is the only one that should ever be doing it because she's the one that, quite frankly, it was the best one by a long shot. All right. Now, I know this is going to be quick. It's only 12 seconds and it's blurry as hell. But
YouTube friendly.
all right. Here we go. Half the fun of that right there is looking at her eyes when she'd do it.
It's like a backward stunner then.
Basically, or a jawbreaker, backwards jawbreaker.
Yeah.
You drop them on their back of their heads onto her head. Yeah, I loved it. That's probably one of my favorite moves of all time, honestly. Just because of how fun it is. And seeing Victoria sell it after she does it, she would always kind of grab her hair and get that wide eyed look, you know. You're like, man, that girl's crazy.
I think you know who's got a cool finisher actually? Will Ospreay.
Which one?
I forgot what it was called.
Several
The one
of
where
them,
he
I
like
mean,
lifts them up and he spins them in the air.
oh,
like a log. I forgot what it was called.
I'm gonna look real quick because I can't remember it either. Because I never was a Will Ospreay fan, but lately his before he I know he's out doing had to have surgery and some stuff going on right now. But some of these last few matches I've seen him in, I'm like, that one with him and Okada was absolutely insane. He uses the hidden blade, which is that elbow strike. Then he uses Stormbreaker, which is a double underhook neck breaker. He does Spanish fly a lot. I'm just kind of taking a look.
Where's the Stormbreaker? Oh wait. Oh, it is the Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
But some people don't spin as well as others.
No, there's some of them know how to sell that crap, you know.
Yeah.
That and once
some people
again,
really spin like he's just like spinning. That's really on the guy taking it though.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's kind of cool, but I just never was an Osprey guy. I definitely have never been a damn Kenny Omega guy, and you know his finisher, the One Wing Angel. But he also does the Styles Clash too, though.
Yeah.
So the problem with the One Wing Angel, he could really hurt somebody with that too if he ain't careful.
He could, but he hasn't.
Not yet.
I think.
Not yet.
I think the way that he grabs the arm, he really tucks them in.
Yeah.
So
braces them on himself, I think, for the most part. But
anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we better get out of here before.
I got an early morning tomorrow, and it's almost 11 here.
And we've already gone an hour and almost a half, and I'm like, how did we go this long without even thinking about stuff? Because all we did was talk BS wrestling crap.
Yep.
But that's half the fun of it. So, all right, guys. Yeah. So we will see y'all next week for sure. We'll have it again.
Have a good week, guys. Tomorrow's Monday.
An announcement, because there may be an announcement in the next week or so. We may start doing a Friday night one as well.
Yep.
So we'll talk to y'all next week for sure.
All right. Peace.
Take me out to see that game with all the balls, or to the wrestling ring best out of Three Falls. Donny and Randy talking wrestling and sports. We're talking the ball pit. It's the best, of course, 'cause it's the ball pit, the ball pit. Donny and Randy, they freaking called it, 'cause it's the ball pit, the ball pit. There's no better podcast, they're all shit. Rob watches the Lions every Sunday night. Who even know which team Paul supposedly likes? Tex likes the Cowboys, it's his only shortfall. Jason McLean, just a fan of sports ball. 'Cause it's the ball pit, the ball pit. Donny and Randy, they freaking called it. 'Cause it's the ball pit, the ball pit. There's no better podcast. They're all shit. With Randy Gilbert as our YouTube sports guy. Donny Cho knows shit about sports, but he'll try. Donny only knows wrestling and MMA. Together these two for the youth.